I've just realised I've been talking to you all this time and I'm mute. Oh dear. I'm going to start again. We're talking about sea kale. The nutty, slightly bitter, blanched young shoots of sea kale are a delicacy which is undeservedly rare. And it's a hardy perennial, sowing to harvesting time is 2 years if sown from seed. Planting to harvesting time, 10 to 12 months if grown from root crowns. Size, plants grow to about 45 centimetres. Blanched shoots cut when they're about 18 to 23 centimetres. Yield is 450 grams per plant. These blanched shoots are produced by covering the plants in winter after the summer foliage has died down. They can be boiled and prepared in a similar way to asparagus, and some people rate them as highly, yet they are as easy to grow as rhubarb. Moreover, they are ready in the early spring when few other vegetables are available. Sea kale is one of the few vegetables native to Western Europe and Britain and still grows wild along the coast in some places. This wild sea kale can be made to produce blanched shoots by covering it with shingle. In the garden, the plants are more usually covered with buckets and leaf mould outdoors or forced indoors in boxes to produce an early crop. Sea kale can be raised from seed, but if this is done, it takes 2 years to produce edible shoots. Most people, therefore, either put in planting crowns obtained from a nursery or use thongs, which are root cuttings. If these are planted in the springtime, the delicious young shoots should be ready for eating the following spring. Suitable site and soil. Sea kale is native of the seashore and prefers an open site and a shady, well-drained soil. Nevertheless, it will grow in most gardens provided they are not heavily shady or well-drained soil. Nevertheless, it will grow in most gardens provided they're not heavily shaded. Dig the soil in the autumn, adding sand to lighten it if it's heavy. In addition, add manure at a rate of 1 9-litre bucket per square metre. The best manure to use is composted or fresh seaweed, but if you cannot obtain any of this, use well-rotted farmyard manure or garden compost instead. Sea kale dislikes acid soil. A few weeks after manuring, test the soil with a soil test kit and add carbonate of lime if necessary to produce a pH of about 7.0. Although not as permanent as an asparagus bed, for example, you can expect to leave a sea kale bed in the same position for several years. Therefore, choose an open site where a permanent bed will not get in the way of other crops. Sowing. Sea kale is not often grown from seed because it takes 2 years to produce a crop if grown this way. Moreover, sea kale does not always grow true from seed. Seed-grown plants may vary in colour or not respond properly to forcing. Nevertheless, if you're patient, discard the less vigorous and badly or abnormally coloured plants. You can produce just as good plants from seeds as you can from cuttings. It's certainly a cheaper method. And I did show the picture before of sea kale. Sow the seeds in early spring. First of all, rake the soil into a fine tilth and then take out a drill of 2.5 centimetres deep. If you're planting more than one row, make the drills 30 centimetres apart. Then sow the seed thinly in the drill and cover it. The seed should germinate within 6 to 12 days. Fairly soon afterwards, when the seedlings are large enough to handle, thin them to 30 centimetres between each plant. Water the plants frequently in hot weather and keep the weeds down by hoeing. In the following spring, treat the bed in the same way as one newly planted with thongs or crown. If you're not prepared to wait 2 years for a crop, then you should grow plants from planting crowns which can be obtained from seedsmen. Plant the crowns in early spring using a dibber to make holes about 23 centimetres deep. It's normal to space the holes 30 centimetres apart with 38 centimetres between the rows. However, you should modify this spacing if you're planning to blanch the sea cow outdoors using special sea cow pots or smallish wooden boxes. In this case, you should plant the crowns in triangular clusters of 3 with 23 centimetres between each plant in a cluster and 1 metre between the clusters, both in and between the rows. Whatever spacing you're using, however, rub or cut off all the pointed buds on the top of the crowns before you plant, or they will grow up into unwanted flowering shoots. Then plant the crowns in the holes. Cover them with 5 centimetres of crumbled soil and pack the soil into small mound over each plant. Care and cultivation. Sea cow does not require a lot of attention during the summer. Water the plants frequently during the hot, dry weather, keeping the soil moist. A mulch of moist peat, garden compost, seaweed or rotted manure in late spring is a good idea to help keep down weeds as well as to retain the moisture. Remove with a hoe any weeds that do grow through and remove all flowering stems as soon as you see them. For extra strong crowns, give a dressing of sulfate of ammonia at 30 grams per square metre halfway through the summer. Blanching. Unblanched sea kale is bitter and virtually inedible. Blanching is essential to produce tender, palatable shoots. There are 2 ways in which blanched shoots can be produced. They can either be blanched in situ outdoors or forced indoors. With either method, the shoots must be given some protection from the cold while they're being blanched during the winter. If you do not have any specialised sea cow pots, perhaps the easiest method outdoors is to cover each plant with an upturned bucket, box, large flower pot or other suitable container. Do this as soon as the foliage dies down in the autumn, clearing away all the dead foliage and lightly forking around the plant first. Then place the containers in position, weight down each one with a brick, and then surround each with a circle wire netting staked to a short post. There should be a space of 7.5 centimetres between container and the netting. Fill this space with leaf mould. The leaf mould provides protection for the cold and will ensure blanched stems for harvesting in early spring. Alternatively, you can use half-rotted manure instead of leaf mould. The heat produced by the decomposing manure means the blanching stems will be produced a little earlier. If you cover part of the rows at, say, 10-day intervals from early winter onwards, you should be able to ensure a succession of blanched shoots for harvesting in the spring. It's possible, instead of using wire netting, to cover the rows with leaf mould or manure and then hold this in place with planks. Cover the shoots as soon as they peep through and harvest them soon afterwards. A better succession of crops can be obtained by forcing the sea cow indoors. Lift the crowns successfully in mid to late autumn and cut the main root down to about 15 centimetres long, removing all the side roots. These are the special sea cow containers. Then plant them upright, 7.5 centimetres apart in deep boxes containing moist leaf mould, potting compost or peat 25 centimetres deep. The crowns should just appear above the soil surface. Place the boxes in a dark place such as a cellar, garden shed or under the staging of a greenhouse. Cover them with lids or cardboard, wooden boxes or pots, making sure that all light is excluded. If any light reaches the stems while they're blanching, they will become bitter. The ideal temperature at which to force sea cow is 7 degrees C, 45 degrees Fahrenheit to start with, rising to 13 degrees C, 55 degrees F later on. At these temperatures, the shoots should be ready for harvesting in about 5 to 7 weeks. At colder temperatures, they will take longer. Do not, however, try to rush the plants by forcing at temperatures above 13 degrees C or 55 degrees F. If you do, the blanched stems will be thin and wiry. And finally, harvesting. The blanched shoots are ready for harvesting when they're 18 to 23 centimetres long. Scrape the soil away from around the crown, then cut the shoots cleanly with a sharp knife at about 1 to 3 centimetres of wooden crown is cut off together with new young growth. If you like, you need not cut off all the shoots off one plant at the same time. Instead, you can remove the larger, older outer shoots first and then remove the younger shoots when they have grown bigger. So there's a basic start of sea kale. If you're interested in that, tell me if you do grow sea kale, and as I say, if you know recipes, perhaps if you've done a video of recipes using sea kale, you might like to put them in my comments below, and then you can other people can come and look at your channel. Okay, let's go on to, let's have a drink and then I'll go on to, let's go on to this one. Yes, let's go on to this. And I've got a link to this. Okay, so I have a link for you first of all. Let me go to comments and put it in the comments. I did a video a little while ago on how to remove white water stains or hot ring stains and scratches from wood. So do go and check that out. I've also linked that in the description below. So if you can't get the chat up and you're watching this back later, then you can find the link there. So I'm going to go through some other tips and hacks that relate to this, different ideas for moving stains and so on and so forth. And the first one is, it says furniture takes a more brilliant shine if rubbed over with vinegar before polishing. And the next one, use cold tea when cleaning varnished woodwork or floors, and then polish with a soft duster. The tannin helps to counteract grease and enhances the wood colour. Also good for removing finger marks. And the next one is, slight scratches on furniture can be repaired by rubbing them with a freshly cut Brazil nut. Walnuts are also good, and I do talk about using nuts in my video. The next one is, remove a heat mark from polished oak table with a half and half solution of turpentine and linseed oil. Dip a cloth in the mixture and rub gently over the white stain. Polish when dry. And the next one is, to remove water stains from polished wood, smear olive oil or vegetable oil around and over the stain, and then use a generous amount of cigarette ash, rub to a paste with oil. If it's an old stain, leave overnight. If not, then wipe clean and polish. And I do talk about that in mine. My version's a little bit easier than that. And the last one is, candle grease on a wooden surface can be removed by softening with a hairdryer and then remove with a paper towel. Wash a solution of vinegar and warm water, dry and polish. Blue says, not sure I'd use a Brazil nut, I'd use a walnut. Yes, you can use almond as well, almond nuts. I go through many more tips for wood, but do note that I say in my video, you must take care of your type of wood, number one, and two, what treatments it's had to it. So it's always best, if you're going to do something like this, test on the underneath first. My best tip is mayonnaise, but watch my video that I've linked, as I say, I'll link it below as well. And then I go through several different versions of getting rid of stains and scratches, so check it out. And hello to Blue, go and check out Blue's Self-Reliant channel. Comedy bit, Blue. I talked for about the first 10-15 minutes and suddenly realized the microphone was off. So I must try and remember to go back to this live when I finished and just put in the title, I do find out that the microphone's off, keep watching. Oh dear, how funny. How funny was that? Not very. Okay, let's go on to this. We're still on my mini book of Aesop's Fables. We are coming to the end, and this is the synopsis of the different fables. So get straight to the point. Don't we just love that? Yes. This one is called The Stag's Mistake. As a stag stood drinking from the spring, he noticed his reflection in the water. Look at my gorgeous antlers, he said to himself, turning his head this way and that. They are big and broad and quite stunning. Oh, but look at my spindly legs. They are so knobbly and skinny, I can hardly bear the sight of them. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, a lion appeared. The stag turned and ran for his life. On the open plain, he put a great deal of distance between himself and the lion. But when he reached the wooded country, his antlers became caught in the branches of a tree so that he couldn't run any further. In fact, he couldn't move at all. As the lion was about to pounce, the stag thought bitterly, my legs, which I scorned, almost saved my life. And my antlers, which I was so proud of, have been the death of me. And the moral of this, or the proverb, is in bad times, we find out who is a true friend and who is the real enemy. Oh, for sure. For sure. Okay, let's check the chat. Blue says, oh, done that before with the mic. Yeah. Typical when no one's in. I know why it happened. It's not my actual microphone. It's the StreamYard on my little box down the corner. Because when you set up or you go in your StreamYard before you're actually live, the mic is on. And I'm like, well, I'm going to turn that off because I obviously talk to myself and I'm talking to Mike and in and out. So I thought, I'm going to turn that off. And it doesn't normally turn off until you're literally go live. Then it turns itself off if you're not up here, you're still down the bottom. So then it automatically turns itself on when you come onto this, they call it the stage, the main screen. But obviously it doesn't because I chose to turn it off. It then didn't turn itself on. So I know not to do that in the future. Blue Self-Reliant says, I did an hour on Twitch once with the mic, without the mic on. I was doing a creative stream. Oh, bless, that's so annoying. The first few times I used StreamYard, you know, when you just go on randomly, and I used to do that all the time. And I used to go on and talk for ages, and I hadn't put go live on. I was so used to doing like the YouTube way, where once you're on screen, you're live. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, Pebbles. Pebble, we don't often see you. She's turned and gone the other way now. Blue says, yep, that's what happened to me too with the streaming software I use for it. Yes, I think it's to stop you doing what I did today and thought, well, I'm not having the mic on while I'm like if I turn it on 10 minutes before, or if I'm loading something. Oh, and by the way, Blue, you wasn't in. I can now share the screen. Your tip was perfect. It's because I had the ad blocker. So I've now got on my ad blocker, it's got a green thumb, like you've allowed us in. So yes, you're right. It's definitely that. Still having trouble with pictures. Do the pictures come up down the bottom? If you do a picture, I could get a picture, but I had it on like my whole, I bring it up on my laptop, but I didn't seem to be able to bring that in. I didn't really spend time with that, but the screen share, yes. Yes, they do. Right. Okay. I didn't have time to play. I just wanted to sort of, it was a screen share thing that was a issue. Let me see if I can do it now. Let's see. Wait. Let me see. I've got something up there. Because these things you have to practice, don't you? Share screen. And then I had to do something else. Entire screen. Oh, click on it. That's what I couldn't do. I didn't realise you have to click on the picture. You know, it brings up like on your separate thing, share the screen. And look, the share box wasn't coming up. It was blank. And I was like, how do you share? And I know now you have to click on the picture of the screen to share. There we go. I've got it. So now, there we go. Yay! Look, I can do it. But I still don't get why you have this multiple in multiple. Is that how you're seeing it? Now, when you've shared your screen, you made it bigger. How do you make it bigger? I've done whole screen. How do you make it big? Or is that big enough? You can't see that, can you? Can't see that. But yay. Yay, I've got that much. Got that much. Okay, let's have a look at this. We need to say a hello to Steve and Tina Jewell. Check out their channel. Tina Jewell. We had her lay-in this morning. Ah, that's nice. Ah, Blue says that's big enough, right? Okay, but when you share, they give you the option of sharing a page. So you need to have that page open and choose it. When you share, they give you an option, share a page, so you need to have that page open and choose it. Right, got it. Now, why can't I do the picture yet? As I say, I didn't spend time on that. I was just excited. I did the screen. I don't actually know when I would share the screen. Now I can do it. I'm like, but when am I going to use that? Right, that's big enough. Cool, because obviously I'm reduced, so I haven't got my whole screen. Excellent. We are coming on. If any of you got questions, do ask Blue. Talking of which, let me add it. Let me add 1 minute. Let me bring up my Word doc now. I want to share with you, the title I put here is not the correct title of the video, but I've posted, oh, don't put the title then, Dawn. Right, I put a video up on my other channel talking about how you can watch YouTube ad-free using a free ad blocker and no cost at all. So it's a whole chat about myths of YouTube, which I do quite often, but this is specifically talking about if you are using an ad blocker, you would have had situations recently, and they're telling you you have to either get rid of your ad blocker or pay for YouTube Premium. Not correct at all. And I go through all that, so I'm not going through it again now. It's in the video, and you can use a free ad blocker. You'll find it doesn't work for a bit, but it will do. It's only, and now you have to pay for, it's the same thing going on with Facebook. They're now charging, and Instagram. And the interesting thing about that you may not know, I don't use either of those, so I can only tell you what I've been told. That's the reason YouTube started doing it, because they knew Facebook and Instagram were going to be doing it. So they jumped on the bandwagon and rolled theirs out first. And interesting thing you may not know, that the Facebook one, it depends on what country you're in as to how much you're being charged. The most I've heard it is so far is 15 pounds, euros, whatever you want to say. And the cheapest so far is Poland's the cheapest, and that's 9, which equates to £9. Let's say that. Let's say it's all pounds, so we get the right currency and the right difference. £15 for the most expensive so far, and £9 equivalent of if you're in Poland. So let me know about that. If you use those two, tell me what's happening with that. As I say in my video, they are illegal to charge you if they are called social media. And they can't say, well, no, you can have it free, but you have to have the ads. You can't put restrictions on free for all, which social media is. No social media legally can charge you, and they can't say, but you can have it free if you watch ads. No, they can't do that. You're not beholden to watch ads. So I've got mine cleared. I can now use my ad blocker and for free, and so can everyone else. Please don't pay for YouTube Premium unless there's other things they offer that you want, and please do not pay for an ad blocker. You can get free ad blockers. I recommend you have 2 running at the same time, and if Google shuts one down briefly, the other one is working anyway. Steve and Tina on OBS. Steve and Tina say, my GoPro as a webcam is not working. Okay, don't know about that. Don't have GoPro. Steve and Tina Jules say to Blue, I'll give OBS another try. I'm going backwards now. Blue's saying OBS is a lot simpler. They let you think it. OBS is a lot simpler than they let you think it is. I use it a lot. Steve and Tina, I'm going backwards. I tried OBS. There's a lot to learn. Right, I caught up backwards. I often watch people's videos backwards as well. So, for example, I can't watch anyone's videos or lives or anything at the moment because I've got to get my 86 olive trees. They're all picked now. They're all picked, but I am going to drop a video to explain why it now takes me even longer after I've picked the olives, sorting out the trees. I can't spend too much time filming either. I've got 86 trees that I need to prune, but you'll see I've done a brief before and after of a couple of trees, and then a quick talk with a tree that was only pruned last year and explain things. So I'm not spending time other than my own channel doing anything on YouTube at the moment. So I will be back. I will watch you and I will catch up. If there's anything important going on in your life, please let me know. Message me, comment, or use my email. Let me pop my email up for anyone that doesn't have or can't find. I used to put it under all my lives. I don't since I've been doing StreamYard. Oh, it's down the bottom, isn't it? So I can find it quickly. So I'll just run that along the bottom. If you want my email, you can always drop me messages. I haven't even got to my emails, to be fair, either. So if anyone's asking, volunteering to come, missed you. Missed you. Yeah, so I was saying, so what I do when I catch up with people, I normally then start with the latest one, just so I'm up to date on what's going on, and then backtrack and watch the previous ones to catch up. So sometimes things are a bit weird. You've finished a task that I didn't even know you'd started, or so on and so forth. Oh dear. Oh dear. Crazy days. Okay, let's move on. Let's go on to... Oh, let's take the banner off, or that will be on underneath. There. Let's go on to this. A little bit different about Cyprus today. I will talk about angling, fishing, angling. Only brief little piece about angling. Angling in the dam reservoirs of Cyprus is very popular pastime, and 21 reservoirs, why am I saying that weird today, provide excellent freshwater fishing throughout the year. 17 species of fish are stocked, including trout, bass, carp, perch and roach. Catch and keep is allowed, but only at 2 sites. And they are catch and release only. Anglers need a fishing licence, which can be easily obtained from the Department of Fisheries and Marine Research in Lefkosia, which is our capital, or from the regional offices of the Fisheries Department. So there's a little bit there about fishing, in case you wondered. What fish do we mostly eat in Cyprus? Bass and bream, I would say, are the two most popular. Of course, we have mezes. We have the meat meze and the fish meze. If you want to try a whole array of different fishes you may or may not have eaten before, do try a fish meze, and you'll get lots of tasters of various types of fish. Me and Mike did it one time and one time only. We love... Mike likes bream best, but I like bass and bream. We'll have those, but the fish meze, they give you all sorts, snapper and all sorts of things, but most of the fish you're supposed to eat the heads, and no, not for me. Not for me. Steve and Tina say fishing is the biggest participation sport in the UK. That's interesting. Is that so? Wow, that's interesting. Okay, Blue says, I have YouTube Premium, so anyone I watch still gets ad revenue and for other stuff that you can have access to. What else do you get, Blue, for YouTube Premium? What else do you get? I'm interested to know, because I've never even looked into it, because it's a paid thing. Apart from, obviously, internet, I don't pay for things. I'm going backwards again. Wait. Wait, let's go back a bit. Wait. Okay. Blue says, I can help you, but you'll need to do a video call to see what you're doing and show you on mine. Okay, Blue says, okay, miss that. What we talk about, Facebook doesn't charge anything but advertising. They are now going to be charging. They're going to be charging for you to use it. And if you don't want ads. So it's going to be, that's why YouTube started it. Instagram's going to be the same. If you want to watch the ads, fine, carry on. If you don't want ads, you have to now pay. They're rolling it out. Stephen Tina says the Quick app seems to be unsupported on PC now. I don't know what the Quick app is fishing. I did that one. Blue says, yeah, but it's still expensive to do and you can't take it home. Are we talking about the fishing? They're not. It's a scam that's been going for years. It started again. Well, I've just got all from them the pay chart. That's how I know that different countries, different prices. We'll say they might not be able to roll it out. They haven't rolled it out yet. They're just saying the prices because YouTube has already lost so many people via this, and they were jumping onto the other social media sites, and now they're all coming back again. So at least with YouTube, you can use an ad blocker. So there is that. Quick app is for GoPro. Right. Okie dokie. Thank you for that. I didn't know what that was. Okay, let's move on. Let's do your favourite. Okay, so I have a short one for you and a slightly longer one. Let's do the short one first. A diplomat is a man or woman who can tell you to go to hell in such a pleasant way that you actually look forward to the trip. Okay, this one. I like this one. See if you like this one. A dear old Irish lady went to confession, and as she was deaf, she was inclined to shout. The priest told her to speak more quietly, as all the people in the church could hear what she was saying. She yelled back at him, "What did you say?" So, as best he could, he told her the next time she came to confession, she should write down what she had to say. On the occasion, she knelt down and handed a piece of paper through the grill. The priest looked at it and said, "What's this supposed to be? It looks like a list of groceries." "Mother of God," said the old lady, "I must have left my sins at Tesco's." Anyway, who doesn't know, which I'm sure you'll do, Tesco's is a supermarket. That's there. Okay, let's move on. Let's do what we got here. I'm on the wrong page now. Let's do a bit of this. Having a little look around. Like you do. No, I was actually putting something in a little wooden box I've got, and I found this. I don't know if I've shared this with you before or not. It's a little box with piggies on, and Jimmy from the Astute Tourist might well recognise the pigs. It was the same design was on the card I sent him, and he had to work out what all the sayings or phrases were with the pigs, such as here, male chauvinist pig, and above, piggy bank, and above, next to it, piggyback, these kind of things. So he had to work out on the card what all the pictures signified with the pigs. So different ones on the top. I think it might be all the same ones now. Yes. And it's quite interesting. The pig pictures are a company. Can you see? Dawn Publications, Brighton. So in here, what's this Dawn keeping the pig box? Why? Pigs, of course. Not all pigs. I think they're all pigs. No, one's not a pig. One is my little sister made this for me. It's an elephant. So he's in there. Little elephant. So it's all little tiny things, obviously, that I want to keep safe. We have this little piggy here. There, with tea and biscuit. We have this little piggy. He's sitting on a stool. And I think he's got a sandwich. I was just trying to look then. I think he's got a sandwich. No, has he got a sandwich, or has he got a book? Book or a bag? There. We have this little piggy laying down. He lays on his side. So we have him there. We have this little piggy. That's a sweet one. Very sweet. We have this one's got a book sitting down. That one. We have this little piggy. Oh, I like this one. This is, I think, brass. It's very heavy. I don't know if it's brass. It's really heavy. Would that be brass? Don't know what that would be. Let me know in the comments. I'll come back to you in a minute. So he's very heavy. He's very small, but he's very heavy. Very heavy. We have this one. Now that's a school bag, so the other one must be a school bag because it looked the same. It's got its little bag. It's got its little cap on. There. We have oh, this is a brooch. There's a piggy brooch. There's a piggy. There's a lot in this box. We have, oh, that one's cute. Look, it's the dress there. That's really cute. Sweet. And the last one is obviously a pork pie. Here's pork pie. Let's see if I can show you the pie better. There. It's a pork pie. Oh dear. Let's have a look at your comments. Blue says they're adorable bubbles. Stephen Tina says, fancy bacon for breakfast. Blue says, my sister would love these. She collects piggies. I used to. Gold. Oh dear, really funny. Oh dear. Okay, let's go on to this. Okay, so we're going to talk about films, and because you want something visual to go with that. Oh, the Italian Job. Yay, films. Going to the cinema. We're talking about going to the cinema. Ooh, look, W.H. Smith. Self-Preservation Society. That's got to be a good film, hasn't it? And I want to know if you remember the first film you ever saw at a proper cinema. For me, I can't say exactly the first one, but I know we used to go when I was very small to see Disney films at the cinema when they would come out. And I particularly remember the Herbie films, but I found them quite boring. I think I was too young for the whole storyline. The fun bit with the car, I remember the car doing his lights up and down and beeping and all that. But to follow the whole storyline, I can only say I must have been far too young, because I know some of it would be boring. I just wanted to see the car. So that, I don't know if that was the first film. I remember going to see The Sound of Music, and in those days you still had the B film in England, so you'd have a short film first or a cheap film first. Sometimes they were quite good. You'd have the B film, then there'd be like a little kind of interval where you could buy your ice creams and that in the actual cinema room. You didn't have to go to the foyer. A little lady would come with a tray with like round her neck, and we would normally have chalk ice. I don't think you had much choice, but you had chalk ice. And then you would see the A film, the proper film. But I remember The Sound of Music, there wasn't a B film. And my mum was like, oh, we're straight into The Sound of Music. And the reason for that is the full film. I don't know if they cut bits out for TV or not. I don't know. But the full film was longer than, at the time, I think it was the longest ever film. So much so that they split the film, and partway through was another interval and then the B part. And if I remember rightly, the split, I still kind of remember the split. Now, how I remember the split, I don't know. It's when Maria goes back to the convent, and it's then when she goes back, and it's like, oh, what's going to happen when she goes running back to the convent? And that is where it splits, when she leaves the house, the big house, and goes back to the convent, and then it splits. So now I must be really young because of the age of when the film came out. I was born in 1964. Oh, it's my birthday soon. I was just going to say, the very end of 1964. I was born in December the 6th, if you're interested. Oh, and that will be a Wednesday, so I'll have a live on my birthday. Look out for that. Tell your friends to come to my party on the internet. And so I must have been young because of the date when that film came out. So why do I remember exactly the way that split was? I find that quite interesting. I really do. So that must have been one of the first films. Let's see. Blue says mine was Empire Strikes Back. Wow. Did you not go to the cinema when you was young? Oh, Stephen Tina says used to go to Saturday morning movies for kids in the 60s. I remember Will Hay and Fatty Arbuckle. Gosh, look at you. Look at you go. We won't ask Mike because he probably went when they were still no talk. No talky movies. And they used to have the orchestra pit, and they used to play music in the orchestra pit. And I tell you what I used to love at the cinema, when they had the adverts, there was always, tell me if I'm wrong, there was always an advert for the local Indian takeaway. And that's what I love most. They were local adverts. More recent times, they would have Pepsi and whatever. But in the old days, they were local adverts. They weren't like big corporate adverts. So there would always be that. There was the few areas I went to, there was always the local funeral directors. You really want that when you go watch a movie. There was that. Oh, what else was there? Oh, there would be an advert for like the if you want to buy an ice cream, it was normally Lions Made or Walls were the two companies. There was always buy your ice cream now in the foyer, not the foyer, or by the, forget what they call the hostess lady. What they used to call them? They used to be called cigarette girls in America, but they weren't called that. Oh yeah, they used to have you could smoke in cinemas. Stephen Taylor says smoking ads, yeah, And alcohol. There was always an alcohol one. There we are. So I'm missing. I must keep in order because I'm missing comments here. Blue says, how old do you think I am? I was 6. You were 6. To me, that doesn't sound long ago. You were 6. Oh my gosh, Blue. You must be much younger than me. What are you? I have to work it out. Oh my goodness. Stephen Tina says, I remember sitting on my dad's lap watching the first Doctor Who. I did go to the pictures and see that. I was so into Doctor Who, particularly the Daleks. And my Doctor Who was John Pertwee. That was my era, the 70s. And it was, what's that one called? The Invasion of the Daleks or something. And it's 20 something AD, and that's the title of the film. And my big sister used to hide and not like Doctor Who and all that. She used to think it was scary, and she used to hide her head behind a cushion, and then she'd go, tell me where I can look, tell me where I can look. And I'd always wait for like a Dalek to come full screen and go, it's all right there. And she'd go, no. My big sister, yes. So my parents took me to see that. We also went to see, in the 70s, all the situation comedies on English television always bought a film out, and they were good. If you didn't like any of the situation comedy programs, the films were good. I didn't like On the Buses as a program, but they've got 3 films, and you've got to really watch them in the right order because they don't follow on. But like Stan's sister has a baby in one, but he's like a boy in another one, so that's the only context of watching them in the right order. And one film finishes with Stan and Jack losing their job, and the next one is they're working at Pontins. Of course, I love that film. I love Pontins, the old Pontins, not Pontins of today. And they work at Pontins. So that carries on in that respect. So I love those. The 3 on the Buses are in my top 10 films. So do go and watch them. They're on the internet now. They're on YouTube. 3 on the Buses films. One's Mutiny on the Buses. It's funny. One is Holiday on the Buses, must be the Pontins one. I forget what the other one's called. Anyway, I'm sure if you watch one, there'll be a link to the other ones. So we went to the cinema and watched all those. We saw the Love Thy Neighbour film, controversial these days. We saw Father Dear Father. That was a good film. We saw Robin's Nest. Now, that's a good film, and that's normally on English TV now. What's the other one I really liked? Bless His House. Now, I could take it or leave it as a programme. It was good. It was okay. But that as a film, that was really good. So, yeah. Where are we? Milbro Man. Oh, right. Yeah, for the advert. Sorry, I keep putting my hand across. It's a tiny, tiny little natty thing. It wasn't. What wasn't? What wasn't, Blue? Sorry, I missed the comment when it came up. What wasn't? Oh, right, that long ago. I get it now. I said, oh, it seems like that wasn't long ago. Blue said, no, it wasn't. 50 in January. Oh, bless you. 50 in January. You're quite a bubby then, really. You're quite a bubby. It's funny, when you get older, you just talk to everyone as if you're all the same age, don't you? Oh, you're bubby. Oh, bless you, Blue. Stephen Tina says some of the new ones are vertical. Now I've lost the thread because Dawn wasn't reading it when I was talking, saying something. What are the new ones that are vertical? What are we talking vertical? I'll tell you about the best cinema in Cyprus. It's like a proper cinema. You can go on different floors, so all the screens aren't necessarily on the ground floor. And this one, I can't remember if it's 3 floors or 4 floors. It's like a sort of really fancy English one. You know, you get the really fancy cinemas. It's like that. But the top floor, at certain times of the year, they completely open the roof. So you can see the stars and you're in like big armchairs and really nice. And it's not any more expensive, but obviously the height of summer, they don't open the roof for that one. It's completely open. Yay. That's pretty cool, that one. Look for Blink. Oh yeah, and the Weeping Angels, Doctor Who. The Weeping Angels are now my new favourite. I think it's such a simple concept and it really works. It really, and you're anticipating every time you see them, you're just anticipating that last bit. I think that's a genius. I'm not sure if that was Davis that invented those or not. I wouldn't like to say Russell T Davis if he invented those. If you know, let me know. But yeah, the Weeping Angels. I went off the Daleks a bit when they started to elevate. They can fly. But I guess with technology, yeah, and times. But then wouldn't they have done that as they were so far advanced in the future? Wouldn't they have done that sooner anyway? And I know that was a big thing of when Doctor Who came back again, that it was a big punchline that, oh, we go upstairs, they can't come up. And they went, ooh. So that was okay. The Cybermen are pretty good as well. I like the evolvement of them, how they look so different to how they did look. So I'm quite keen on those. But yeah, Weeping Angels, I love the concept of that. And they look really good, don't they? They look good. Stephen Tina went to Butlins in 1965. I was a bubba. I was just born the December before. Stephen Tina say, Carry On team, Sid James and Barbara Windsor. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if we saw the Carry On films at the cinema. We probably saw some, or we probably saw one, and then my mum probably was like, I don't think so. I don't remember if we saw them all or not. What was I going to say? Going to say something in? Forget now. Oh, I know what we did go and see a lot. My dad was into James Bond, so we all went and watched James Bond. I was quite small, and I remember the first one, James Bond, I saw at the cinema was Live and Let Die, and I remember that. I think it's the start scene, isn't it, when they do that funeral and they march with the trumpets and that, and then suddenly they all start playing the jazz music and that stuck with me from the cinema. So I remember that. 66 in January. Oh, very good, not vertical. Oh, right, okay. Love the Weeping Angels. I do. I really love the Weeping Angels. I think they are fantastic. They are fantastic. Really clever, really good. Yeah, so I can't remember my very first one. I did remember, obviously, we went to a lot of Disney. Can't remember which one I saw first. Probably Snow White. I don't know. But I do remember thinking every time we saw a Disney one, they seemed to be the sad ones. And I thought, why is my mother bring me to watch this? Bambi sticks out foremost in my mind. Nelly the Gyrocopter. Yes. Yeah, I used to like all the villains. But as I say, the Disney stuff, they were sad. Dumbo had a sad bit. Bambi just, no. Children reckon they're traumatised today. Well, you don't have Bambi. I didn't see Watership Down at the cinema, but Watership Down. No. I don't like to watch anything like that. I really don't. If it's got those sort of hard-hitting, sad things. I think a lot of Disney is. I'm trying to think of another one now they've all got sad or something going on. Crazy things. Jane Bond, autocorrect again. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there for today. That's food for thought. As I say, I can't remember the very first film. I can just remember a batch of films, and we did seem to go every time a new TV one came out, but that was obviously older then as well. But yeah, I'm going to say Herbie, possibly one of the first, but I can't be sure. So yes, we will leave it there for today, and I will finish as normal with Quote Corner and my outro. And what day is it? Monday. So I should be back on my other channel tomorrow with a pop-up live and Tuesday tour. I can't remember where I'm taking you tomorrow, what the tour is tomorrow. My board. Oh, I've had a big change around in my room, so I'll probably film it at some point and show you what's where. My lives are now that way, which makes sense. I don't need to see it when I'm actually live. So yes. Okay then, thanks for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you especially to those in the chat, and thank you to those watching back later. Don't forget, drop me a comment so I can say hello to each and every one of you personally. Until next time, as always, Meraki.